Hello, good evening. Hi there. I missed a week again. I know. I don't recall why, actually. I think we were all sick with something. Maybe we all had a cold or something was going on. I don't remember what exactly was happening last Monday. But I think there was a sickness involved. Now, I'm going to try to get through the show tonight because there's a lot of storms moving through the area. As of this broadcast, or as of this recording, really, there's a lot of storms moving up all the way from Texas, moving up through the United States, and some of them are hitting my area sometime in the next few hours. Could be earlier, though. So I'm trying to make sure that you guys know that I'm here and you don't lose me. Okay? But I'll probably end up making this a short one just to make sure that we're all good. Okay? Right. So what's going on? Yesterday was Sunday, as of this broadcast. And it was a holiday. And you guys know I don't really do holidays, but we're going to talk about it anyway. We're going to talk about the spring holiday, and I'm going to ask you nicely, please, out there, if you could, don't egg me. Let's talk about this. And when I say that, I mean, don't throw your hard-boiled eggs at me after you've colored them up all nice and pretty looking. Yes, it was the spring holiday, which some people, a good number of people here in the United States, call it Easter. And it has both, it has mostly a religious significance, which I'm not going to get into here because you guys know I'm not really a religious person. That's between you and your family. I'm not going to explain it to your kids for you. So if you want to talk about it with them, that's cool. I'm not going to get into that, though. But we also, and I don't want to shatter some of your children's minds with this. Okay, I don't want to. If you've told them certain things about the world, I don't want to dismay them. But we don't really do, we don't do Santa Claus. We don't do the Easter Bunny. So we don't have typical Easter things here. It's not a holiday we do in my house. And some people may say, well, that's sad. Why not? I mean, I loved it when I was a kid. Rah, 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 rah. Well, that's fine for you. We don't do that, and, we get gifts for each other all year long, and we don't have to worry about that. My daughter has all kinds of treats and whatever from her desserts and things like that. She'll usually go through a Halloween bucket over the course of a year. So, don't mind me while I'm click-clacking with my robots here. So we don't do, like, the Easter basket thing. Now, a lot of times, we do get invited places, like from family and whoever, to go and have a meal and to hang out and whatnot, right? And usually for one reason or another, but mostly for the last few years, because of the having to take care of the dog, I don't go to any of these things. I stay home and I take care of the dog. Well, the dog, since the dog's gone now, and I ended up, I got time. So I went with them this year. We went down south to a neighboring state. Had a meal, had some chat, with some family. This is on her mom's side of the family. On my daughter's mom's side of the family. This isn't my side of the family. But we had a meal back there, and I ate too much. Like I always do. You put me in a room with a bunch of free food that's nearly unlimited, yeah, I'll eat too much. Unfortunately, it's a poor habit of mine that I have to divest myself of. But yeah. So we did that, and she got like an Easter bag. She had a bag of goodies and things that would have been in an Easter basket. The year before, I think she actually got like a basket with the fake grass and everything like that. So it's not like she's deprived of things, right? I mean, some people out there are still going to be upset, but But I don't see her as being deprived. All the void that's there from not doing Christmas and things here at home, she gets filled up all throughout the year. She gets little gifts. She gets all kinds of stuff. Like, she was sick recently. She wasn't feeling good. And she got a new plush toy. It rhymes with Mish Squello. I don't want to do any brands on here. Get me in trouble because they haven't sponsored the channel. They could if they wanted to. You could do that, Mish Squello. But that's not your name. But she got a new one to help her feel better, and we do stuff like that for each other in my house. We just get people things like, oh, you know what? I thought you might like this, or you're having a bad day. I thought you might enjoy this, or you know what? I'm just glad to have you around. Here, have this. You know, we don't always have a lot of money, but we make do. So we don't need, and since we're not religious, we don't do the religious aspect. So we don't need the major holidays, really. We've got all year. But I'm off the topic now. Because when I was a kid, I grew up in a religious family. And I don't want to have that come off like I'm being negative about it. Because people can practice whatever they want. They can do whatever. It's no big deal. I'm not going to, bash or trash any, least of all my own family, over what they believed at the time when I was a child and before I moved out into the big wide world. And, but we would do, I'm knocking over my stuff here. I'm trying to adjust these so they all stand up, and I'm just knocking them over. Focus on the show, Spider. Well, I'm doing stuff. Come on now. Anyway. When I was a kid, for Easter, it was like a mini Christmas almost. It was like a mini Christmas kind of. We would have, my mom and my dad would set up like an Easter basket filled with goodies and all kinds of other stuff, and you could get into it, but you couldn't eat anything out of it. It was usually filled with like candy and maybe like a plush toy, like a bunny or something, right? But you could get up, you could look at it, you can like, oh yeah, that's awesome, and you could, have a breakfast. Often we would go to the church, and since it was Easter, they would have a special service, and they would have a big breakfast, and they'd have people cooking like all kinds of stuff, like bacon and eggs and whatever. So we do that. And then they might have like an egg hunt, which was usually the plastic eggs. They usually put the plastic eggs. Now we sometimes, throughout the years of me growing up, would decorate eggs ourselves. And that's one of the things we don't do with my daughter that I think maybe we'll start, but not with real eggs, because she doesn't eat real eggs. And I don't want people coming in and be like, you're forcing your daughter to eat certain dietary things. Well, her mom feels a certain way about food and what is and what isn't food, okay? And we're giving her the option as she grows. Excuse me. We're giving her the option as she grows and understands things to choose what she wants to eat with the knowledge that's provided to her. It's not like we're just like, here, you eat this because we eat it and that's it. I mean, I eat all kinds of things. I eat everything. I'm not a specific dietary person, except for the cheese thing, the dairy thing. But you guys know that. But, yeah, we explain, we like, this is, why certain people do what they do, and you get to choose. That doesn't mean that she gets to choose, like, dessert and pancakes every single day for every meal. She gets a balanced meal. She gets nutrition, okay? She gets nutrition, which is the point. But because I'd be the only person to be eating eggs, really, then we don't decorate them here, because nobody else would do anything with them. So I'm thinking maybe I can come up with a plan where maybe we'll decorate the plastic ones at some point, because she hasn't gotten a chance to do that. And I think that'd be a good thing. I think she'd like that. Do like an egg hunt around the yard or the house or something. Because we would do that sometimes. We would do little egg hunts. We'd hard boil the eggs and do the dip them in the dye and get the paintbrushes out and do them up. Get the big old giant chocolate bunnies that take you like a week to eat, unless you're a really determined child, in which case they take you 10 minutes. And then you have a stomach ache for the rest of the day. But yeah, so then we'd come home from the big church shindig after the breakfast, and sometimes we'd go out to lunch afterwards. But I don't think so, because a lot of stuff is closed, because it's like I don't know, sometimes places would be closed, so maybe we wouldn't. We'd go home and we'd have a big meal, almost like Thanksgiving. My dad would usually make it. My dad would make this big meal with ham and all kinds of things, and so it's like a mini Thanksgiving and Christmas kind of wrapped up into one. You get the gift bag, the gift basket, and you get the big meal. And then my folks would talk about the reason for the season and all that other kind of stuff, and you know, the religious parts of it, because that's what they did. But since we don't do that here, like I said, it's kind of a weird thing. Like, if we didn't go someplace for it, I don't think we would even mention it. Like, if we didn't have family to go visit for it, like, I don't think it would even come up. Like, we'd just be like, okay, well, it's Sunday. We just watch pro wrestling or something. I don't know. I know in the past we've done Thanksgiving things. We've done, like, if we don't go any places, we'll sometimes make up a meal here. And I don't really think about it, like, in terms of the holiday, but I know it ends up being that way. But we've never done anything for Christmas here, though. I'll say that, because we don't. Like I said, we don't do that. So I don't know if we would do anything for the Easter holiday. We might do some arbitrary something, like some event, if we wanted to do, like, the eggs in the basket. But again, my daughter gets all the sweets and whatever usually throughout the year, so she doesn't need to get into an Easter basket all the time. We got Halloween, that's enough. It's enough candy. It's absolutely enough desserts for you. But that's what I would do as a kid. We'd get up, we'd look at the basket, yeah. We'd go to the church, have the breakfast, have the service, go home, have the big lunch, and then after lunch we'd get into the basket and get to eat our treats. Eat the treats. So what do you folks do? If you have, like, special traditions or something, you can tell me about it. I know that if you're not listening live, of course, because the chat room is always empty, because nobody ever listens live. I think that's just a thing. Nobody has time to listen to anything live anymore. It's just like, oh, well, I'll punch it up on demand. I got to get to here, or I got to get to there. And but if you're listening to it after the fact on YouTube or wherever it's going to be hosted, because it's going to be on YouTube, it's going to be different places. But YouTube allows comments. You can drop a comment on the video on YouTube. Episode 50, Season 3. It's in its own playlist. Got everything organized. I like to be organized. And you can tell me what your traditions are, or were, or any mix of the two. Or you can send me an email at uncannyspiritsclub@gmail.com. That's uncannyspiritsclub@gmail.com. So yeah, that's the holiday, and it goes back a long ways. Actually, it's based off of, like, traditions, kind of like Christmas. Christmas has a lot of traditions that date back to pre-organized religion stuff, and it was a lot more adult of a holiday back then. I'm not going to get into that stuff. That's a different show format. But it was for the grown-ups. It was for the grown-ups in the distant past, okay? You know, rabbits and things and the symbology there. You know what I mean? And babies and eggs and stuff. You know what I mean? You know what I'm getting at? You know what I'm getting at. Kids, don't ask your parents about it yet. Wait till you're older. then they'll have to explain it to you. Now I'm putting the parents on the spot. They're probably like, oh, darn you, Spider. They're going to ask me about this later. Well, you got to explain it. I got to explain it to my daughter when she gets older. That's going to be uncomfortable. But, that's how it goes. It's true stuff. It's how biology works. That's how it goes. Hold on a second. I got to go yell at somebody. Yeah, pardon me. I have a cat. I have several cats, but I have a cat that gets grouchy. He gets real grouchy if you don't do things exactly the way he wants you to do them. If his water's just a little too warm, if his food's just a little too low, if his litter box is not scooped immediately, he'll find a spot in the other room and he'll try to use it as his own personal bathroom. And when I notice that he's gearing up for that, I have to go stop him. So he's a bad cat. Cats have attitudes. You ever know that? I had a whole episode about cats. They got attitudes. Often poor. But that's a season 1 talk. If you want to listen to me talk about that, go back to season 1 on YouTube in the playlist for Let's Talk About This season 1. But anyway, yeah, the whole eggs and everything, and there's not much else to say about it, really. Like I said, I wouldn't even probably mess around with it too much if we didn't visit family on a regular basis about it. I don't, because we don't. It's kind of one of those unnecessary. If you're not religious, it's an unnecessary holiday. If you are religious, then yeah, it's fairly important in the whole story of all that, right? But if you're not, then it's kind of, another candy holiday. Like Valentine's Day really isn't all that important anymore, but people pretend it is. And, yeah. So anyway, that's all I got. It's a short episode. Like I said, there's the storms going through, and I don't want to keep you guys too much. And it's a light topic, because this was just yesterday. Tune in. With luck, I'll be here next week, and no disasters will happen. My washer just screwed up, and a part went bad, so I'm going to have to deal with that. So hopefully that won't keep me from... My clothes washer hopefully won't keep me from doing a show in the near future, but you never know. It's always some kind of disaster going on around here. But that's the spring. That's the spring holiday. That's the Easter thing. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, stories you would like to tell, by all means, go to my YouTube, onto this video, leave me a comment, or email oh man, I'm just having tongue all over the place trying to talk. Blah, 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 blah. Email me at uncannyspiritsclub@gmail.com. That's it. Here's your little bite-sized little episode for today.